You're listening to the Wicked Theory Podcast.
We're very happy to have you back, even for a short visit.
And here we go.
Broadcasting live from the Hackatorium inside the Fun Society Arcade. This is the Wicked Theory Podcast. I knew there was one more, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is the Wicked Theory Podcast. There's always room for one more note. You can go on forever. That's like just add one.
Oh, with this one, that echo going, I could just leave it.
Just leave it. Just
hit it once and walk away.
That's our new film music and background. Just it's the weakest horror movie you've ever seen. Ladies and gentlemen, Ed is sitting there quietly because I haven't introduced him yet. That's Edward O'Hare.
To sleep, perchance to dream.
Eloquence, my dear friend. And from Brother Bob, you've heard him
Hello.
already.
Hey, maybe next time you see how long it can go without speaking before you introduce him.
Yeah. He was
holding it.
He was holding tight right there. He wanted to get his line out. Well, thank you for that, my Shakespearean friend.
Thank you.
How have you been?
I've been good.
You're alive?
Yeah.
Got energy? You ready to go? You ready to fucking kick some ass today? Because we got some stuff. Oh my God. We got changes and whatnots. This is episode 89.
Okay.
All right. We still do that. I'm still
Batman. We're at Batman 89, people.
That's it. We're still doing the whole hey, how you doing up front. Teasing it out, as it were. We're going to have some news this week, as usual. Emails, as usual. But Pitch versus Pitch is back.
Yep.
Spoiler.
DC TV report.
You going to give it all away?
There's actually something to report
What?
this week.
What?
So I'm really excited.
Warning, spoilers ahead.
What? That's crazy. That's just nuts. This is turning into a Z Morning Zoo show
Yes,
with the
it
sound
is.
effects and shit.
I
right?
like it.
You like the feel? You like the
yeah.
feel? Well, you like this one because it's you.
Warning, spoilers ahead.
I'm waiting for those movie clips and sound drops. That's like been my dream for a while.
You want more of
Just-
that?
Yeah.
You want more of that? I should close the show every week with this.
Last call for drinks.
Yes.
Yes. As a matter of fact, you should. I tried. That was the point of me putting it in there.
Yeah.
Was to like at the end of every episode just hear a little bit from Carlito.
Last call for drinks. Bar's closing down.
You know what's going on
Because that
here.
is so much better than me stealing that song from Craig Ferguson.
Hold on a second here. Just got to close this window because again, not now on the updates that happened last week. Like what the hell? It's like it knows we're going live. And It's
Yeah.
like, hey, I just figured now would be a good time for you to be bothered
Yes.
and asked. You want an update?
Yeah.
All right. So who's in the? Well, you know what? I'm jumping ahead.
Yes.
I am definitely jumping ahead.
We have a
Well, Pitch versus Pitch this
Pitch
week.
versus Pitch,
We
yes.
got Pitch versus Pitch back this week. Got DC TV coming back this week.
Plenty of news.
Plenty of news. Maybe too much. We're going to burn through a little bit of it.
Yep. Emails?
Emails.
Oh.
I mentioned that already.
Yes.
So you know what's different? This part right here.
Yes.
This whole... that was the email theme. Hot delivery. This whole part here where we normally tell you about the Patreon, about all this other stuff, we're going to be moving that to the end.
Okay.
But because we got, I got a friend. I got a friend involved. I got Paula Allen from Tell Me Stories podcast.
Yes. Who I'm not sure likes me.
Well, you know, you seem to have a thing about Canadians,
Yes.
and she's Canadian.
This is true.
So I think it might stem from that. So I don't blame her for being like, you know,
Yes.
she got the one leg out, like might be a karate stance. You really
Well,
can't tell.
what's
Like, she
funny-
might be ready to do a roundhouse on
Yeah.
you.
In the Shumway chat and during Podtoberfest, there was a point where it would come up that I hate Canadians.
Yeah.
And then she would get really upset and then go
Right.
on a whole rant. And through the process of her behavior,
Right.
you know, kind of
Sure.
proved me right, and made me kind of really like, oh wow, maybe I do really.
I
hate
think
Canadians.
I think that's a setup, though. I think that's like saying, "Hey, you're an asshole," and then when they get mad, you call them an asshole.
See?
They're like,
See?
see how they get. So that's. I know we live in a new world now where the whole how we interact has changed, but let's not bring that to the table. So she was cool enough to help us out because I was going to make some promo stuff where at least I was going to cut up this thing from Podtoberfest where she had done a little bit of voice stuff for this show as part of promoting that, where she was like, "You're listening to the Wicked Theory podcast," and then she goes in there and I'm like,
That was cool.
"It was cool. Remember that?" So it was like, well, I can't cut that out. It's got background music. It would be this tiny thing anyway. So I was like, you know what? I should just message her and be like, hey, you know, would you mind recording something? I'll record something for you, blah, 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 blah. So I wrote her out a little script. She did it for us. And we're going to normally play this at the end of the show as our, like, segue between shows kind of a thing.
Oh, from the proper show to the after show?
Right, from the hour and a half plus that we do up front to the thing that we refer to as the after show. That little transition where I'm actually kind of turning off devices and stuff.
Yeah.
During that part. And so, and during that transition this week, we have something else from her, which is even cooler, which was that she, during all these tapes, or these files that she sent, she just kind of went on like and did like a testimonial of why she listens to this show and why she supports the show. And it's like freaking cool. I wasn't expecting it. And it's like
really
kind of
fun.
Yeah, it's like a genuine thing. And like, you know, spoiler alert, she forgets to mention Bob, but it's me and you, Ed. But it's me and you, buddy.
You know, someone who doesn't know better could possibly take it as she doesn't really listen to the show. She just knows you and Ed.
Yeah, maybe. She's like, oh, yeah, there is a third guy.
And so that hence everything she's saying is bullshit.
Right.
Yeah.
That's possible.
I can't wait to hear this.
Well, yeah, so...
And, thank you, Paula.
Thank you, Paula. So let's...
I can't thank you, Paula.
Yeah, well, not yet. So let's check this out real quick. This is the promo that will be now in the middle of the show from here on, but this is our little in-house thing.
The Wicked Theory podcast is heard live every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern until whenever. Just go to mixler.com/wicked-theory. Mixler is MIXLR. Sign up to join the chat. Then click the follow button to get reminders whenever the show goes live. You can find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, wherever good podcasts are given away for free, and at wickedtheory.com. You can support the show at patreon.com/wickedtheory. There you can get the after show if you miss it live. God forbid. Plus other exclusive episodes. As always, send your emails to podcast@wickedtheory.com.
And there's that. So isn't that like the most
Thank you,
professional thing
yes.
you ever heard on this show?
Thank you, Paula, for making us sound good.
Yeah, so...
And you know what? Maybe this show needs a woman's touch.
You know, well, female voice putting her around here a little bit. You know, it's a little testosterone filled. I'm just saying. But yeah, so big thanks and shout out to Paula for helping us out. Her show is Tell Me Stories podcast, and you may not be into it, Ed, because it might feature too many Canadians for you to be able to handle.
Well, actually, it's not.
And it's got to do with music.
I was going to say it's not the Canadians as much as the music part.
And like you don't like you're allergic to music or some shit. We discovered.
Well,
previously.
you know, in the same way you're allergic to sports.
Fair enough.
So wait, I'm confused. She wants us to lie to her because it sounds like that's what she wants.
Tell me stories, right?
Tell me stories.
Just tell me whatever.
Just lie to me.
Right. Just make it up, you know.
Right.
And it's possible. It's possible. So she.
And isn't that something that what's her name, Smurfette said to Pinocchio?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
What episode was that?
I don't know. Not on this show. Sounds like something we might say though. But yeah. So Tell Me Stories podcast with Paula Allen, guys. Check that out if you're into it. She interviews some bands and musicians, indie stuff on the scene, rock. Pretty much, I think it's mostly rock stuff. But a lot of bands on the come up, a lot of actually cool artists and stuff. A lot of the stuff I've checked out, I've actually kind of liked and dug. And she puts out episodes on the regular, so go check her out. Tell Me Stories with Paula Allen. Good friend of the show, big friend of the show, and we couldn't appreciate her help more.
Thanks, no thanks.
Thanks, no thanks. Bobby, maybe I shouldn't have given it away. You know what I mean? I did let the cat out of the bag with that.
That would have been funny.
Yeah.
That would have been funny for Bill to listen to that whole thing and then go, wait,
I'm just teasing. I'm just playing with the whole
No, absolutely. You're just playing along. You're not brokenhearted. But I wonder if I hadn't mentioned it and I tried to play it off and just waited to see, like, if he noticed and then chose to say anything maybe on mic versus off mic, like how it would have went down.
No, but you told me this when it first happened.
Yeah, when it first happened, I broke on it. I was like, I just got to mention it because I kind of thought it was funny. But so we'll play that other clip later. But so big thanks to her. And in the meantime, that's going to be our new thing in the beginning where we just kind of get that out of the way.
Okay.
Well, I mean, like we've done away with doing all the big Patreon push up
Right.
front. I mean, if there's something
Right.
new going on, we'll mention it. But for the most part, the big push we leave for that new tag at the end. But that does leave us to who is in the chat room, because like that's the thing we like to do is check in on the chat room.
Oh, we've got
Chat.
our Star Wars. We got Wesley Ryan Gaskins.
Wesley, I got it right. Wesley Gaskins.
Yeah, we got Agent Palmer.
Yeah, there you go.
Good old
Yeah.
AP.
Yeah.
And John Zombie John. Thompson.
Johnny Zombie Johnny, and two elsewhere. I don't think it would show me. It might, because I'm on
It
that
does.
device.
Yeah.
Okay, so then one elsewhere. Elsewhere is then who? Some mysterious individual.
Oh, Bob's in now.
Oh, I see him. Bob.
Yeah, I just turned my phone on. So
Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. So yeah, I guess we'll just roll it into.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're in the chat room, people, give us hearts.
Yeah, we like hearts. Yeah, you know what?
You know what?
It was
'Cause it helps put us in the
up
in
front.
the up front in the favorites
Yeah.
and
In the
stuff.
Mixler,
you know,
yeah.
it helps us out. So
I usually wait till the after show for this, but I'm going to kick us off.
about twice every
Oh.
second, you should be pressing that button
Oh, what
while,
did you?
while we listen to the show.
Ed, you put the first heart in the room.
Yes, it did.
That's a lot of love for yourself. That's a little self love.
I got the second one.
Oh shit! I refuse. All right, fuck it. I'll do it.
Is it the second one even?
See that? We'll even
No,
do it ourselves.
No,
people.
Wesley beat you to it.
Yeah, I
See
got
that?
the
We're the
third
kind
one.
of show that
I don't want
says
to outdo Wesley.
that we won't send you out to do a thing that we wouldn't be willing to do ourselves, right? We're that kind of team leader.
And that's why we're not
Yeah.
successful.
That's exactly it. Supposed to take up the rear.
Yeah,
let
And
everybody
that's why
else-
you're going to clean the dumpster out back next.
I saw the founder today. That's really what it is.
Woo-ha! So you know, I know there's only two guys in there, but if they want to play with it, there is a chat room game.
We got a hashtag game.
Yeah, hashtag game. Kill the film franchise was the idea I had.
Examples include
Follow.
Harry Potter and the Inescapable Casket, or Death Wish, Wish Granted.
So just find like a franchise and, you know, just find a way to kill it. Literally kill it in the title, and then, like, you know, or wrap it up somehow if you can just figure out something like that. This was a little bit of a challenge for me because I was like, I don't know, this is all that comes to me. But that's how I feel every week when I set these up. So I was like, oh, fuck it.
How about Star Wars Episode 8, brought to you by George Lucas?
There you go. George is back. Da, 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 da. Ruined it. That's where it
It's going to be a flying bowl of spaghetti this time. We'll go with the Mon Calamari.
But it's going to be like really cute and talk like in some weird,
Right. And
really
it'll be
ridiculous
all
baby
like,
talk
you know,
voice.
Yeah, it'll be played out by Care Bears,
There you go.
There you go.
The Muppets, the Henson's crew. They'll take care of that one.
the Lego version.
The Lego version. So yeah, you guys can play with that, and you know, I you know, bandy it about, you know, and maybe if somebody else comes in here, I'm sure Agent Palmer's going to lay out the rules for the setup for this particular game. So I'm wondering if did maybe the information not go out this week or something? Did I fuck something up on the?
I don't know.
On the
Did you get the memo? We put
memo.
You know, we did the Periscope about 10 minutes earlier than we usually do.
Maybe that's what it was. I think that's how we caught Clint last week. But anyway, so that's a diversion. Bob, we're up for Meanwhiles. Meanwhile, it's like we run down some shit from.
What did we watch? What did we consume?
Well, what did we watch? What did we consume? I just want to put this out there. If anybody heard it on Gotham Lights podcast this week, like,
Oh yeah,
like Uncle Vito popped up over there.
He did?
Yeah,
Oh,
it was a
I missed
thing
it.
where, you know, they skipped a week, and I wanted to kind of help out, so I sent in an audio thing, or Hanno found it in my trash pail, something like that. I forget exactly how
You got hacked by Hanno?
Yeah, Hanno hacked me and found this audio file where I had recorded Uncle Vito. You know, because we weren't set up for the show. He called me randomly, but I was like, you know, maybe if I recorded or something. So you can check that out over there.
yeah. He has some scoops. What did he have to tell you?
Some
What
of
did
this one, well, I think that's why I sent it over to them because it was kind of Batman and Gotham related. But I'd hate to give it away for anybody. But if they want to hear it, it's over there. But it did make me think that maybe maybe that's the way to kind of maybe best wrangle Uncle Vito is when he calls me randomly, I'll start recording these.
There you go.
And we're bringing it over here.
Just do it without even asking him.
Yeah, that's the best
Yeah.
way. Just turn
Yeah.
it on, Jerky Boy style.
Yeah.
As soon as the phone rings, just turn on the recorder and be like, "Hey, how's it going, Uncle Vito?" And it'll just be nonsense from there. So you got that to look forward to whenever he decides to call. That's probably the best route to capture some Uncle Vito. So
Yeah, I think so.
yeah. So for actual stuff that we watched and all that, and there's a thing in the notes for you that has been boggling me and baffling me. I refused to look it up. I'm sure I'm blowing it up way too high.
Actually, if you looked it up, you wouldn't have found anything because this is not a TV show or a movie or a comic book.
I thought it might be the name of a band.
No. Well, why don't you read what's there?
It's Taco Stuffed Zucchini Boats.
Yes.
And I thought that might be a band. I thought that might be with
Yes.
something with a lot of bongos and just silliness.
So let me guess. This is actual meal.
Yes, I actually.
All right. So
Taco?
I'm guessing scooped out zucchinis with taco meat and cheese whiz.
No, actually.
You're not making this at home?
No, actually, my mother
Okay.
came home from work on Monday.
Yeah.
And my dad wasn't there, so she's allowed to, cook something different. Because she has just. My mom's a great cook. But every once in a while, you just want to. I get an idea. One of her coworkers had zucchini tacos,
Oh, okay.
and was thinking maybe I could do something like that. So she literally just what Bob just said: scooped out a zucchini,
All right.
threw in some taco
Yeah,
meat,
I'm digging it.
shredded cheese,
Sure.
threw that in the oven for about half an hour.
Ooh.
And then you throw some a little bit more cheese.
Yeah.
And it was delicious.
Yeah.
It was revolutionary. And now
Revolutionary.
I want to know.
yeah.
I want to know.
I want to know.
Can you use a zucchini boat
Yeah.
the same way that some people use like egg rolls? Like how you have like mac and cheese egg rolls, or like those guys that will do.
Are you saying you've discovered the new hot big
Like-
trend in
Yeah.
snackery?
Yeah.
In
And
home
zucchinis are-
cooked snackery?
Zucchinis are like kind of healthy, right?
Yeah,
This is
sure.
the next chocolate covered banana.
Well, how much of it are you scooping out?
No, just basically the seeds
Like,
part.
like, well, probably
you
like
gotta-
60%. I mean, if
yeah.
you want to still have some rigidity but room for new food, you got to take out a
Yeah.
decent amount of
You got to take out 70-80% of it.
yeah, I would think, But
no, there's
But the size of the zucchini matters too.
yeah, but we all know, zucchini, obviously a very, very healthy.
Yeah.
It's like 95% water.
Yeah.
Like,
There's nothing in it. It's one
the
of those
skin
things.
is the toughest.
Like,
you know what I mean?
It's like cucumbers. Cucumbers have
Oh,
no
yeah.
nutritional value whatsoever.
No,
They
yeah.
have zero. It's just water.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like lettuce.
It's nature's sponge.
But I want to know. Could you make?
Oh yeah.
Could you make?
Could you?
a meatball
Yeah.
zucchini
Shut the
zucchini
fuck
boat?
up. That's- all right, we're done. We're done. This is a legit question.
Yeah, I'm asking.
Well, I
What are you
mean,
talking about? Scooping out a zucchini, put meatballs in it?
Yeah,
like zucchini.
You could do
meatball,
anything with it,
like
I guess.
Yeah.
But,
You're making a.
why would you? The whole point of eating zucchini is to be eating something healthy. Once you put a meatball and mozzarella cheese and all that sauce in there, or even a taco meat with taco cheese and everything, it's no longer a healthy meal.
Yeah. Well, that's the
That's
thing.
like 1,000 calories.
You know what you got to do then is you got to then roll it in some phyllo dough, drop it in a fryer later.
There you go.
When it comes out, you put 2 scoops of ice cream on it. I think you're good to go.
There you go. You got the sweet. You got the salty.
And then you do a little
You got the
chocolate
savory.
syrup in a crisscrossy pattern. Shake a little sugar on top, little confectionery sugar.
And then you dip it in oil.
Yeah. There you
Could
go.
could we please get a fan art challenge of
Oh.
exactly what Bill just described?
Oh, good Lord.
Because I don't think you could physically do it.
No, I don't.
But I want to see
You're
it.
gonna wrap it in oil in an egg roll shell too.
Yeah,
Deep fry it.
even a plate. wrap the whole thing. All right, so enough of that. So I thought maybe you might have picked that up at a ground round or something
I like.
that.
And, I dare you to eat this convention.
Couldn't think of anything funny. I just tried to name the oldest fucking.
It was
supermarket I
really
could.
good. I liked it.
All right. It was really good. All right.
So
You're right.
next is zucchini spaghetti, right?
Oh.
Well, they have that.
They
Do
have
they have zucchini pasta?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do it. They do
Yeah.
it. They
That-
do
You
it.
get the machine to make this spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
I don't know. That always seemed kind of
I
weird.
think they call it Zucchetti.
If the pasta machine weirds you out, don't watch Lemony Snicket. All right. Well, segue. So Lemony Snicket.
Segue.
Yes. I watched like the first 4 or 5 episodes of Lemony Snicket. Didn't see the movie. Didn't read the books.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just taking it as what it is, and I like it. It's like it's
It's an acid trip.
yeah, it's an acid trip. It's like one step removed from Tim Burton type stuff because
Yeah.
Tim Burton stuff is over. It's got too much Tim Burton-iness usually, and so it's like if you scale that back down, you end up here. I feel like
Right.
yeah, cool stuff with the narrator and
How's NPH?
NPH is over the top as you would expect him to be. He's eating it up, but that's the kind of thing this is where it's geared towards little kids. It's supposed to be campy and funny, and usually this kind of thing wouldn't land with me at all. But it's holding up, and I like what's going on there. I like Patrick Warburton a lot. He's really growing on me. He's a narrator for the whole thing.
Now, in the movie, Jude Law played
I
that
just keep
part.
waiting for him to go, Jack.
Is that true, Wilford Brimley?
Is that who it sounds like I'm doing? Wow, that's off.
No, he didn't say diabetes.
Diabetes.
No, he says it diabetes.
Diabetes.
Diabetes medication.
Well, Chris Warner was diabetes.
Yeah.
Whatever.
If you're like me, you're dead now and still on TV. You know?
Did he do anything other than Cocoon?
Delivered mail. I don't know. Like he just looks like a mailman to me. He's just always looked like a mailman. I always expected him to be like, "Here's your letters."
He looks like the last choice for somebody's mall Santa.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, dude, don't grow a beard.
No, don't do it. It's not necessary. All right. Where were we? Were we talking about something?
What else did you watch?
Oh,
Meanwhile,
so that Lemony Snicket's pretty good. Pretty good. I liked it. Taboo. With Tom Hardy over on FX.
I'm kind of excited for this.
2 episodes in. I'm digging it. It's a slow burny kind of thing, and you're just kind of taking it in for all the. It's not like awesome, like super awesome kind of thing, but it's compelling.
Yeah.
They're landing for a lot of the things they're trying to do, but he's such a quiet, weird guy. He's a main character, It's got a certain kind of pace and tempo, but I like it. I dig it. I recommend people checking it out.
Now that show started as a BBC show, which means
Okay.
they're going to go till it ends, and so
Yeah.
does it feel like there would be a season 2, or is this going to be like 8 episodes? That's all we need.
Well, seeing where the thrust of the story is, I could see it being longer than. It would depend on how far they wanted to take it, like and over what kind of amount of time. You know what I mean? It's kind of one of these things. Like he comes back from his father dies. He comes back home, and he was kind of like a weird kid, I guess. Anyway, before he left, but when he comes back, he's even weirder. And rumors have come back that he was in Africa, which he was, and then he lived with savages, basically, which he did, and that he ate people or something, maybe, or did crazy shit. Damn. So everybody's kind of like, oh, who is this guy? It turns out his father left him some land, but the land is very important because it's right between. It's off the coast of America, and it's right between America and Canada.
Mother.
That's why you would probably like the show because there's a Canadian angle. But anyway, so there's some familiar faces in it. Actually, you'd be surprised if you watch a good amount of TV who pops up. Not to give anything away, but I recommend it. So far, it's only 2 episodes in, but I'd give it a 3.5 right now. Just a general solid recommendation. It could easily go up, I'd say. And then for me, Emerald City.
Yeah.
I watched the first, second, and thirds. I watched the third a little while ago before we got behind the mic, and it finally kind of went somewhere a little bit. It redeemed itself. I'm not saying it was trash or any way. It just was. It was like, oh, it's pretty good. It's all right. I'm waiting for it to drop the ball or a fumble, kind of a thing, and annoy me. Okay. Which it really kind of hasn't yet. It hasn't blown my mind, but I like the twists that they're kind of doing with the stuff and you don't see the Tin Man for a while, so it's you know what I mean. They're doing a kind of a different thing. We're not just jamming it all in your face and here's everything. So interesting.
Yeah, I checked out after the first episode because I just thought it was too much of a downer. Are there any lighter moments? Are there jokes in there, or is it?
No,
still pretty.
No, that's
pretty,
a good point.
Pretty deep.
That's a good
pretty,
point.
Heavy.
It's not.
it's not your kid's Wizard of Oz.
No, it's not bright and warm. I think does it air at 10 o'clock? It must because they say whore a lot. for NBC. I was surprised. And then they say
Well, they got to
horror
keep
a lot
up with
more.
Netflix now.
Well, that's what it is.
Yeah.
They're trying to push the envelope with this, of all things, which is a weird thing because every now and then when it does something, it feels like,
It's a little out of place.
yeah, like maybe a little bit like, oh, they're just trying to remind us that this show has an edge. Don't forget, the show has an edge, which, they kind of, in the first episode, you get some of that. So it's like, okay, cool.
So what happens? Like Toto rips someone's throat out or something?
Basically, but not that. But that'll
but-
come. But that'll come because he's
Yeah.
a German Shepherd. So, and he's a police dog. He's a
But
canine.
that must be really fun to hear Vincent D'Onofrio go, they're all whores. Bring me the whores.
Shut up and then watch him play with his ring because he's all about the hand fidgeting. Thank God he's not doing the same exact thing as Kingpin. That would have driven me insane. But and he downtones. He dials it back from what he does in the pilot in the first episode.
Okay.
He's a little bit more like this and like very performance-y, and he dials that back eventually. He kind of like by episode 2 and 3 they were like, okay, we got some notes from the studio. You don't have to go over the top.
Right.
So that's it for me. Ed, you got 2 more in there?
Well, there's just one other thing.
Okay.
If anyone watches Gotham,
Yeah.
and this is kind of thing, if you live on Staten Island,
It's a local
yeah,
reference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they,
They shoot it here.
There you go.
there's a scene where, and we'll talk about this in the recap from this week's episode, where they go into a secret meeting someplace, and it happens to be the old abandoned Paramount Theater on
Right.
Bay Street in
Sure.
Stapleton.
Right. Yeah.
Sure.
Bill and I were actually just down that way the other day.
Yeah, we
And-
drove by.
and we saw them shooting there.
Oh, yeah.
So
we
there's
do
going to
some
be
more.
something else that's going to be coming up.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
there.
Definitely.
That's going to be playing a part in it, especially if that episode is airing. This one you're talking about just aired, and
So
it
then they
must
probably,
be playing a role.
and they must
continuous.
they must be doing this show close to airtime. They must be producing it close to airtime.
Yeah, fairly, yeah.
And that theater's been closed since before I was born.
Right.
But that marquee's always been there,
Mm-hmm.
and that's
Yeah.
about not to give away where I live, but it's the neighborhood next to
Yeah,
mine.
sure, absolutely. It's down the street.
right.
It's
Yeah.
down. It's a couple blocks
And
away.
it's the kind of place I passed for years and always heard, are they going to reopen it? And
Right, sure.
it's
No.
kind of like a warehouse
No,
now.
Yeah.
It was its last gasp was bands played there for a while in the early 80s. Pat Benatar played there.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, that was one of the last things that happened there. That's why I remember
It was the last.
I didn't go see. I
Yeah.
wasn't into it.
Well, there was a time too, like where that was the dying scene for a lot of theaters. Was just it turn into rock clubs at a certain point, and then that was like
the owners.
last gasp.
Yeah, it's the last gasp for the ownership because they have all that space. What do you do with it?
No, yeah.
if it's not going to be a movie theater,
Right.
you don't have a lot of options unless you
Not really.
knock it down and rebuild something.
Exactly. So more and more of hometown love
yeah.
on the Gotham.
Yeah,
When we got the hospital, we got Arkham, we got
there's
Paramount.
there's a lot of places that they can shoot if they want to, like old Seaview.
Sure.
Which is a place that they used to have back in the 20s and 30s,
Yeah.
old tuberculosis patients because
Right.
they thought that being out in the exposed to the air and the sun was good for them. So these buildings were built with these big open areas and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's really creepy now.
Oh yeah. Forget it. Yeah.
You know,
It's
they're all rotting away, and you see some of the beds rotting down to dust and everything. So
yeah.
Fun times.
So that's
I
going
used
to
to
wrap
cut
it
out of
up.
school there.
Oh, who didn't? Who didn't? Good times. Good times. Ed,
Yes.
did you ever have good times in your life? This once ever? No.
Yeah.
I didn't think so.
I have
All
one
right,
right now.
That's great. Bullshit. That wraps up the meanwhile stuff. We're out of that.
Meanwhile,
All right, and then now we can roll up into the newsy news. News o'clock. That sounds means it's news time. Ed, why don't you start it off?
I got good news and I got bad news.
All right.
Which
DC's
one? Do you,
making a movie, but it's going to be another bad movie.
no. Which one do you want to hear first?
That's probably true, Bob, but
Well, that's later in the show.
that's right. All right, we'll get to that, as always.
All right.
All right. But I don't care.
All right. So
Surprise me.
The good news is
that
Star Trek Discovery,
Oh, the new show.
they cast an actor to play Sarek,
Oh, that's
Spock's father,
Spock's
Spock's-
father.
yeah.
Okay.
James Frayne,
Spock's pop.
who people know from Gotham as Gallivant.
That guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Good, whatever.
Yeah,
And, I just
This is probably a better role for him,
Yeah.
I mean, cast
career-wise.
Sure.
I mean, casting stories we don't usually do in here, but the big thing that came out of here is they're not going to hit that May release date.
Oh, okay. Well,
And,
not surprised.
And they have it's indefinite when they're going to be releasing the show.
Oh, okay. They don't even know for sure. They're just,
Yes.
we're just pushing that date out. No new date announced. All right. Well, I mean, they got hit with a bunch of. That was kind of expected, I guess. They got hit with a bunch of delays earlier on.
Lots of things going on there, but it's kind of like I want it now.
If anybody ever, here's the next bit. That's what we got on that, right? On
Yeah.
the Star Trek. Neil Gaiman, if anybody ever read Good Omens, and pull this up because actually there's a description in there, and that's actually why I pulled it up because I was like, "Oh, that sounds like a good show." Is going to be coming. An adaptation of that is going to be coming to Amazon Prime. So this is a book he wrote with Terry Pratchett back in the days.
Actually, I just gave this as a gift to my sister's fiance.
I think you're lying, but I'll take it.
Swear to God.
All right, fair enough. All right. So what's the breakdown in there? It's angels, demons, and something?
Yeah. So this is a quote
Pretty freaks.
from Neil Gaiman. Almost 30 years ago, Terry Pratchett and I wrote the funniest novel we could about the end of the world, populated with angels and demons, not to mention an 11-year-old Antichrist,
Right.
Witchfinders, and the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Sounds like a blast.
Oh, sounds like a very, very fun.
Yeah. So this is going to be
Sunshine.
a co-production between BBC and Amazon Prime.
All right, cool. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't realize it was a comedy at all. Otherwise, I would have read it a long time ago.
Yeah.
Because I remember hearing that it was like, yeah, it's angels, demons stuff. I just didn't know it was written as a goofball kind of romp, maybe kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Like a precursor to Dogma is kind of how I pictured it in my head of some kind.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah, sort of. So you have that to look forward to if anybody's a Neil Gaiman fan. NBC is this week. Like this came out that
Yeah, I don't. Is this a reboot? Was this a TV show? Because I know it was a comic book. Witchblade
Witchblade.
is NBC is developing
Yeah,
a new series.
yeah. That was an NBC. It was a TNT series with Yancey Butler,
Oh, okay.
and it collapsed for a bunch of reasons. She supposedly was kind of difficult to work with. Her alcoholism might have played a part, if I remember correctly, but don't quote me on that. But yeah, so and it was they were doing something different there at the time, and it was interesting. You know what I mean? As far as kind of like shows go and tone and feel, but
Yeah.
it didn't really. I don't know if it had legs necessarily at that network or at that in the time that in the era that it was made.
Yeah, it's not exactly TNT's wheelhouse.
No, and NBC, I don't, always.
They're trying, man.
I don't know what
guess-
the B and the C stand for, but the N is nervous. Nervous Billy, Billy, something.
Nervous Broadcasting Company.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
Well,
They're
you
making
know,
me nervous.
I guess they want this to kind of take Grimm's place.
Yeah, I mean, they are looking for something because if they like the ratings from Oz, they're probably looking ahead and what's going to couple with that on an evening of that. So it's not a bad fit if they can make it work. That's a whole thing where it's like a gauntlet passed down and it's witch magic and it's like this armor thing and it's generational and stuff. And the modern day cop gets it. I don't know what this will be in the reboot, but in the comic and in the show, it was Sarah Panzini, I believe. There you go. That's my comics knowledge and nerd stuff just pouring out of my mouth.
Yep.
Pouring out.
But this all stems from a Japanese anime, doesn't it?
No. This was Top Cow Comics. This was Mark Silvestri, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
They had an Image, back when Image, in the earlier years of Image. Yeah, definitely a Top Cow property.
Okay, so bit of comics news.
What?
Little bit of-
Unbelievable.
A little bit of a downer, but DC Comics, they have the Rebirth, big thing. All the titles were $2.99.
Yeah.
Except I think All Star Batman, and they've announced that beginning in April, a lot of those books are going to be going up to $3.99.
Wow. Okay, well,
Not the ones.
it's always about a time.
Yeah, not the books that are shipping twice monthly. So your basic Superman, Batman, Green Lantern,
Yeah.
Justice League, those like core books
Yeah.
that come out every 2 weeks, those are still going to stay $2.99.
You know what would be nice if I think you know what you do, you keep them cheaper, and you put them out later. Like what if as a company we're like, you know what, we're just going to give the comic shops first dibs, and we're going to put it out digitally, 2 weeks later.
Well, the thing that they are doing is
Or a month.
is the $3.99 books will have a digital code.
Yeah, all right. So they're doing
so
that Marvel model where
Yeah.
I think they're phasing out of that.
maybe.
I mean, I don't know that for sure. But all right, so price is going up. Keep an eye on that, kids. That's your way of digesting those. Do you do any digital comics anymore?
I never really got into digital
I
comics.
couldn't hack it either. I tried for a little bit. You know?
Reader's tough.
Well, it's
Yeah.
also I don't have an iPad.
Even PDFs. Like I know people
Yeah.
who like bootleg comics. They do PDFs. A friend of mine told me he was like, yeah, you can watch all of Walking Dead comics are actually in YouTube, like as videos. So you could do it like that. And I'm like, I'm not. I need books. I just need books. Like the flow of the page is different when someone else is directing it. I don't like
Yeah.
it. For some reason, I feel like I missed a panel every page.
and then just going back and forth between pages.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not as someone needs to keep reimagining, boys. The user interface. Keep working on it.
Yeah.
All right, so keep an eye out for that. All right, then in movies,
Quick news.
yeah.
We have the Spider-Man animated movie coming out.
All right, so all right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
We're-
all right.
yeah.
That's all right.
Oh,
It's all right.
okay.
I put that in.
I
you didn't see
forgot.
it.
I forgot there was a story we didn't have a link to. That's
Yeah,
why I
it's just
put
in
the
there.
next
It's
link.
just in there. Logan trailer.
Yeah.
It just says.
So we'll talk about that.
Well, it was good. No,
Yes, it was good.
did you like it?
It was good. I mean, it was a different song. I don't know that
Right.
Johnny Cash played really well.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, but this one was pretty good too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought it was. It made me feel like this is going to be maybe the first X-Men movie that's actually going to stand up as a good movie.
That's what
Over
that's what people are saying. Like in general, I think the buzz is coming off of it that it might be the first X-Men movie that like is like
Yeah, 'cause
worth watching.
Yeah, the X-Men movies have basically just been all about the roller coaster ride.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's no real substance, so you might
Yeah.
enjoy them initially, but then if you go back and watch them, you're like, oh, yeah, nah, sorry, this is... You realize just how bad it is
Yeah.
because you're no longer taking that ride.
It's one of these things too.
Yeah.
I think like it's just they've managed to find the story that like kind of just by itself looks like it's going to capture a great tone for Wolverine,
Yeah.
as opposed to trying to work and serve to too many other things.
Right.
It
Like,
feels it feels very stripped down. It
Yeah.
feels like a modern western. Like,
Yeah,
it
it feels almost like take away the claws on a 9-year-old. Or a 6 or 7-year-old or whatever, and it almost looks like one of these like No Country for Old Men
Hell
type
High
of
Water.
type of things where they're just on the run or something. This kind of a bleak us against everything type thing. But the little kid going crazy was great to see. Like if anybody had any fears or reservations that they weren't going to let that kid go nuts,
Right.
forget it.
Well, because anyone who knows Wolverine knows that he's had a very feral period in his past.
Sure, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, so if you don't know about that character, that's basically it's a clone of Wolverine, and she's gonna look like she's even crazier.
Yep.
Right.
And look at Palmer throwing out a question.
In the chat room,
Yeah.
to
yeah,
us,
Yeah. Hey guys,
yeah.
do you think Logan will do better at the box office than Deadpool did?
Hey, that almost sounded like Italian. I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
But I don't think it will. But that doesn't mean it's not going to be a hit.
I don't
I think Deadpool
yeah.
is something that's very special and unique.
Oof, yeah.
And I think that's that's the real reason it's getting some awards buzz right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just has something that clicks
Yeah.
above all the pieces. It's larger than the sum of its
Plus,
parts.
plus as good as
yeah.
good as it is, Wolverine's solo movies do not have the best reputation, and I think some of that, this may be the highest grossing Wolverine movie.
Sure, easily.
Yeah.
I'll say that
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, everyone's going to see that it's
Yeah.
kind of like not entirely, but it is kind of like it's getting its ideas from the comic of Logan, and then that has developed such a strong following.
Yeah,
There's going to be that.
It's going to be that, and I feel like it's probably going to, like, when you stack it up against Money Made, it'll probably, against the other X-Men movies in general, outside of Deadpool, it'll probably end up being pretty high up. Don't get me wrong.
Absolutely.
Like,
It'll probably compare well to the first couple.
Yeah. And, or whatever the biggest money makers on that list are. But, I mean, it's going to depend. I mean, if this movie really fucking transcends, like in a way that you can get the word of mouth going close to what Deadpool did, then sure. And that's, It's all you could want.
Yeah, well, I think if this movie does well, Fox is really going to back up the truck to Hugh Jackman and try and get him into a Deadpool movie.
He's like, I'm done. Like it's all he says is like, this is it for me. This is it for Wolverine. This is it.
Although,
this is it.
Did you see?
But I hate. We've all heard that before, from other people.
Did you see Twitter go insane when they had a pic of Jackman, Reynolds, and Pierce Brosnan?
Oh yeah,
doing like the whole "hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil" thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you see that there was a fan-made picture of Pierce Brosnan as Cable?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
No, I did not see
The
that.
idea of it
saw
makes
that.
me nervous. The idea of it makes me nervous.
He's too skinny.
He's too skinny. He's too English. He's too old. But like
I think the age plays. Because
the age will play to a degree. But I feel like the thing with Cable is that like. It's not that he's premature gray, but like he's a little all white for his age. He's a little young for all white hair.
Right.
He's like, don't get me wrong, he's like 40s, 50s, but to be all stark white, like he is, it's more like I think when he's a kid, his hair goes white or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Pierce Brosnan doesn't seem. He's too charming. He doesn't.
Yeah,
he doesn't seem like broken.
Wade, what are you doing? Don't put it down. Look at the size of my gun, Wade. I'm like, no, I can't. No, not feeling it. Not feeling it. Please don't. But other news: Miles Morales animated movie from Sony.
We knew Sony,
Spider-Man.
Yeah, we knew Sony was going to do an animated Spider-Man movie. But
they were talking about it for a while.
Yeah, it's scheduled for December for Christmas of 2018.
It was part of the Marvel deal.
Yeah,
right.
But they've announced this week that the star will not be Peter Parker. It will be Miles Morales.
Morales.
Well, this is probably a smart move by them.
Yeah.
In short term and the long run, because they still own the rights.
Sure.
But they don't want to interfere with what Marvel's doing.
Yeah, and it's like how do you bring Miles in, give him some exposure, at all.
Yeah.
Without mucking or confusing, and it's like, well, this is a way.
Yeah, and as the character who carries the Spider-Man mantle, he's probably the number 2 guy after Peter anyway.
Yeah.
And some people prefer him over Peter.
Absolutely. So
he's a good choice.
Yeah, you kind of got to give him some voice. And I don't know if the world's ready for just the idea of, like in Marvel's comics right now, like they're both Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. And Marvel likes to do this thing where, like, that's no big deal, like, just to have 2 guys named the same thing. And, like, because they do that shit, like, there's 2 guys named Captain America, like, you know what I mean? Like, just stop. But that's a whole nother rant. It's a whole nother rant. Mm-hmm. You don't give characters their own identity by giving them somebody else's.
Yeah. Well, also, DC's running out of derivations of Robin.
well, that's it, too. It's like Batman's kid is Robin now. Yeah. Okay, and then
we got Red Robin.
Well, then they kill Damian, and they were like, shit. Mm-hmm. Now to make any other new kid Robin, it's never going to be as good as having Batman's kid be Robin.
Yeah,
let's bring Robin back from the dead. Okay, Lazarus Pit.
Yeah.
Back up the truck, dump it out. So that's that. I'm just tired of the family of characters where everybody has a moniker or an identity of a character that's based on, like Batman. Like there's 5 other characters that are riffs on Batman.
Right.
There's Batwoman, Batgirl, the family. I get it.
Batdog.
You know what I mean? I get it with Batman in a general sense because there's like multiple Robins. Yeah. But it's like, come on, guys. Does everybody need to have the same fucking motif?
Bat Canary.
They all got a basic same kind of costume and shit. And it's like, guys, come on. No one's got any originality. Just be fucking Shadow Man or something. Yeah. Well, that's taken. But anyway, next bit, Ed. Next news item.
So this tangentially involves a friend of ours.
Yeah.
Guillermo del Toro.
Old buddy.
Yeah. We put out an informal poll on Twitter this week saying, he and Ron Perlman and someone else are going to get together and talk about doing a Hellboy 3. Are you excited?
Right.
Yes or hell yes.
Right.
And he basically said if they got 100,000 votes in 24 hours, they'd talk about it.
Sure.
And got 132,000.
How about that?
Yeah.
I voted.
Mm-hmm. I did too.
Oh, good for you, buddy.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, but I noticed there's no option for no.
Well, yes. That's
correct. That was basically, if you say no, then don't vote.
That's fair. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But
then it's safe to say that out of 132,000 people voted yes, and the rest of the planet said no.
Wow, he's got it there.
Yeah.
You
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, still, nobody wants the movie.
Well,
You know what I mean? So you got to put no in there just for sake. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing with show business. The real secret is it doesn't matter how many people.
They were
don't
probably
like
going to have
you.
a meeting anyway
As
on
long as,
Thursday.
as long as you have enough people that like you to form an audience,
Right. Well, that's
you got
true.
something.
That's true.
Yes, that's true.
You know?
Because, like, as a musician, if you want to sell them, if you want to get a gold album, you only have to sell 500,000 copies. There's 300 million people in America. So when you think about it, it's not that hard.
And in Hollywood, all you got to do is just convince them that you have a following.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People, he's buzzing.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so
Hence
why did this
Hardcore
include
Harry.
someone we know?
Because-
Because I go way back with Guillermo, right? Me and him went to high school together.
no, he directly retweeted why he put up the poll to our friend Jay. 7 Days a Geek.
That's right. Jay, over at 7 Days. Do you remember the nature of that exchange at all?
Basically, he said, I'm really excited. And then, like, Guillermo basically tweeted at 7 Days a Geek, this is why I put up that poll.
Oh, there you go. There you go. How about that? We know somebody who interacted with somebody who's
Yeah.
famous.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh.
It's not like they even had a Heineken with the guy, though.
So Ed,
All right,
so
this-
Ed, so Ed,
You take this.
so
'cause
Ed, there's news this week that affects you as a human being because you're obsessive about certain things.
Yes.
Oh.
One of those things being Captain Marvel.
Yes.
Otherwise
You mean
known to
Shazam.
some as Shazam.
You mean, yeah. Just Shazam.
Shazam.
Well, now it is.
So anyway, we've all known for a while now that The Rock has signed on
To play Black Adam.
the bad guy.
Yeah.
But because it's The Rock.
Why wouldn't you make him Shazam?
Well, that's the thing. That's I think they
Well-
gave him the choice. They probably gave him the choice. Like, what do you want to be, Rock? Because without you, we're not even doing this. So it's your,
Yeah.
can you want
Can
to be
we-
both?
Do we use you as Shazam and get nobody to play the bad guy? Do we use you as Black Adam and get a nobody to play Shazam?
Well,
Well, to be honest, in the last decade, there have been some really great Black Adam stories in the comics, and
Lately,
that is on paper he's a little bit more of a three-dimensional character.
Okay.
And there's I can definitely understand, and I think The Rock's personality fits Black Adam better than Captain Marvel.
Well, that's the thing. He's got charisma and that kind of character. I think part of the thing is, okay, here's the situation. So before I go into that, they've kind of like let slip or announced that it's going to be split into two movies where Black Adam will get a movie first and then there will be a Captain Marvel movie. Am I recalling that correctly?
Well, they've just said that there's going to be two movies, and one of them will be a Black Adam solo movie.
Okay.
And that Black Adam may not be in the Shazam proper, in the first Shazam proper movie.
Oh, okay.
Which is like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Well, then I saw a rumor that maybe he might pop up in Aquaman. Though.
Yes, and like they
It
would
seems
introduce
that
him
he's-
there first.
Right.
So Black Adam as a heel is more as a bad guy is more of like a wrestling bad guy, like a heel.
Yeah, that's
Right.
it. Right.
He's
You
not
love
some
to hate,
right,
that kind of thing.
Right. He's
Sure.
he's a bad guy, but you still kind of like him.
Yeah.
He
Well,
still has good motivations behind his bad.
Yeah. Well, he
He
was,
could speak to that more than I
he
could.
was a member of the Justice Society at one point.
Okay.
That
where-
sounds nice.
Yeah, where
Yeah.
he was a bad guy because he was misunderstood. Also, he decided to go back to his home nation of Kandak and take over the government.
Right.
Because
That's
he-
like one of these pseudo-Egyptian type countries?
basically, because he thought he could do a better job, and he kind of did. Even though he was a despot. But
Yeah, sure. But in the end,
read 52 people. Read
the run of
yeah,
DC
yeah,
52.
Yeah, not the new
Okay.
52. I
So-
mean just the miniseries 52.
So then
Okay.
there's good characters in these movies. We're not we're not going to be given like the two-dimensional Superman and the two-dimensional Batman
Right. There's potential
that-
for it.
in the last movie.
yeah, but also these are real popcorn fun, like traditional.
Like more like adventure
Yes.
kind of things. They should have that kind of feel. I agree with you. Like,
Yeah.
less spectacle
Like
and
Buck Rogers
blockbusters.
from the
Sure,
the
yeah.
80s. Yeah.
Sure. Something like that. Like,
Where
just less.
he's the bad guy, but he's kind of an over-the-top bad guy, and
Yeah.
the good guy's kind of like Flash Gordon, over the top.
Sure. Sure.
Put it this way: Shazam's three big villains are Black Adam,
Yeah. Right.
who is a version of himself from ancient Egypt who's really pissed that he's not the main hero anymore.
Okay.
Then you have Dr. Savannah, who's this short, bald guy, mad scientist, who's just, kind of the epitome of the mad scientist from the 40s.
Right.
And then there's Mr. Mind, who is a small, mind-controlling worm who crawls into people's ears and causes havoc around the world.
Well, finally, now you're talking. Now you're talking.
Yeah, no, that's what makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I want.
I
want that guy.
So those are the kinds of stories.
How come he doesn't
that
get a
can be
solo?
told.
I want a movie about him.
That was the first major multi-issue crossover event in comics history. Was Mr. Mind.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with this show.
So yeah, it's the kind of thing where I'm glad they're talking about it.
Yeah. Hey, look,
but this movie's been in development for 15 years.
Yeah, and it keeps changing. It keeps shifting. So when it happens, it happens.
Yeah, I think Dwayne Johnson is a great person to have involved with this.
Sure.
But at this point, because he's been involved with it for so long, I will believe it when I see it.
Fair enough. All right, Ed, let's keep the next one short. I heard that the Monsterverse, as it's referred to here, the Universal movies.
Okay, you just
Did I give it away?
yeah.
Ah.
So basically, not the Universal monster movies.
Oh, okay.
The King Kong Godzilla
universe.
universe
Right.
that they've put together
Right.
has decided to, you have the MCU,
Right.
you have the DC Cinematic Universe.
Right.
They've come up with their own name,
Oh, okay.
and it is the Monsterverse.
Oh, I said that already. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I shouldn't have. We shouldn't have had that in the note. I guess.
yeah, that's
Hey, how you doing?
yeah, that's it.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, moving on to the reboot report.
Reboot report.
we've
Do I
got,
have a sound effect? No, but I'll do this.
Yeah, wrong guitar for the tap tap.
There you go.
We've got 3 things in here. I'll do
Three
quick.
things.
Anyone familiar with the books of John Le Carré?
Who?
Who?
The Night
Next.
Manager. Tinker
I don't
Tailor
think you're
Soldier
saying it with
Spy.
enough
Next.
French.
Well, John Le Carré, which is funny because he's British.
Fair enough. I think that I want to say that.
So yeah, they're doing a remake of The Spy Who Came In From the Cold,
Okay.
which is the first John Smiley book.
Well, thanks for filling me in on that, Grandpa.
Yeah,
The Spy Who Came In From the Cold. What year is this?
it's 2017.
Where are your vinyl records? What do you got? All Bach and Beethoven?
Okay, anyway. So that's one reboot.
Meanwhile,
Next up,
Keep it moving.
James Cameron.
Hey, there's a guy.
Oh.
He's going to oversee the next Terminator movie.
Right.
And once he gets the rights back in 2019, and he's announced that the person who he would like to direct the movie
Yeah.
is Tim Miller of Deadpool fame.
Deadpool.
okay.
So that's a nice matchup.
All right. Yeah. So
I'm fine with that.
So I think Cameron's thinking time to dial back the special effects, strip it down, make it feel more like the first
It's
movie.
it's a lot of rework, and they're going to have to do to fucking undo those last couple of movies that weren't in his control.
Dude, this is sci-fi. All you got to do is say, okay, you go back to the day after the first movie,
And say, boop,
and
it
say,
doesn't happen.
oh wow, there's something happened here with the timeline, and now we got 2 divergent timelines.
We just
And there
reset.
you go, and now
That's all.
we're starting at this. There you go.
Well, somehow after 2, he didn't want to direct any of the sequels, and someone else got the rights to him.
Yeah.
And we've had a trilogy of movies that were each supposed to start another Terminator trilogy.
Yeah.
And each of those failed. And they're finally going to revert back to him soon. So I'm just excited to see what he has to do with the
Look,
property.
if there's a way to, but they reference a reboot and wrap up kind of a thing. I think is how it was phrased in the article I saw.
Yeah.
But I don't know how you do that or whatever. I don't want to keep this going too long.
Easy. You go back to the beginning of the
No, I mean-
first movie,
Right,
and
right,
you
right.
let him catch Sarah Connor and snap her neck, and then it's over.
It's over. We're done here.
yeah, and anyone remember Shaft?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do. He was a bad motherfucker.
They're doing another Shaft movie.
He was a bad mother. Shut your mouth.
It's going to be directed by Tim Story.
Yeah. Hey,
Who
look.
did the aughts Fantastic Four movies.
Yeah, and like,
first 2.
that's not like a sound effect. That means it was awful, but it does. Waka waka. I'm cool with that. I dig it, but like, I really wish they'd probably stick to the books. There was a comic book adaptation that was out not that long ago that was actually pretty good.
Yeah, it says they're going to
but-
try to focus
Yeah.
on his son,
Yeah.
who's navigating the murky area between law enforcement and organized crime.
Right, and it still could play loose enough that Richard Roundtree could still pop up, and Samuel L. Jackson, because Samuel L. Jackson was actually playing the nephew in the movie he did, so whatever. But, hey, cool, man. If you can make it work, I'm down for it, man. I love some Shaft.
Sure.
And then don't quote me on that, though. Don't put that like, I love some Shaft, because unless it's in an article about the movie, I'm just saying.
And,
Not an article about Shaft.
Unless it's elevator shafts, then I'm like, you're the wrong guy.
Yeah, you don't want to get shafted.
Not again.
And last article,
It
so
hurts.
we're gonna finish the hashtag game. soon.
Oh, okay.
all right.
You're right. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
coming up.
This is in the other section. So
Yeah.
we've got an auction coming up this week. That's go. There's big superhero movie
Yeah.
prop auctions.
Yeah.
So we've got both Christopher Reeves and Michael Keaton's first Superman and Batman costumes.
Sweaty. I would go for the Michael Keaton Batman suit though.
Now I have the opening bids here.
Okay,
you wanna
sure,
guess?
sure.
Anyone want to guess what the opening bid for Christopher Reeves' costume would be?
$100,000.
I'll go high just to be a dick. I'll say $1 million.
40,000.
40,000.
Okay.
That's the opening bid.
We might be able to pull
Right.
that together with some friends and a GoFundMe.
No, we can't.
Oh, okay.
We'll sell Ed's car.
Yeah. And,
Hey,
Mike.
well, I don't know if we're gonna know.
And Michael Keaton's batsuit is opening bidding at 35.
Hey,
35 grand.
it was just like all for charity or some
Well,
shit, or is like somebody actually.
Why is it less? I mean, because he's still alive?
Well,
Well, or maybe it's not that he's still alive; it's that the other guy's dead.
Oh, because he's going to be playing the Vulture, too.
also his costume's not.
Now
as
he's a
old.
bad guy.
His costume's not as old.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
And,
it's
I don't
a
know.
Nate D. Sanders auction.
Yeah, but it doesn't have wheelchair wear in the seat.
But it's got that great stiff neck that you have to turn your whole body to look around. All right.
Well, that would make Christopher Reeve comfortable, though.
Well, as long as somebody's comfortable, because you know how I get.
Yeah. And how you get when we can't get to the next segue.
Woof! Speaking of, thanks for the
All right.
segue about segues, Bob.
All right, here we
trying.
go.
Here we go. Ed, are you ready?
Meanwhile,
Yeah, so hashtags. That remember for everybody who was taking part, the
Hey.
hashtag game was
What was it?
kill the film franchise.
Oh,
And I'm not going to say who. I'm just going to say them.
yeah.
and
This
then,
way, there's no judgment. Right.
I think the first one wins it right off.
You want to save that till last, then?
All right, fine.
Okay, fine.
All right, so we got Star Wars Episode 9, The Return of Jar Jar.
Oh man! Whoa! Don't do it.
Fast and Furious 9, Attack of the Trees.
Oh shit!
that's a good
That's
one.
good.
Spider-Man and the Sticky Web.
Oh,
Indiana Jones and the Death Book.
okay.
Jurassic World and the Meteor.
That's good. That's
There you go.
good. That's good.
Transformers versus GoBots.
Oh, that would kill it. That would kill it.
Poolinator.
Poolinator. I don't know.
I guess, throwing a robot in the pool.
Oh shit! Yeah. Okay. All
Water
right.
damage.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Major League 4, Player Strike.
Oh fuck. Oh wow.
See, Bill, in sports,
Right. What does that mean?
When they don't think they're getting paid enough money,
They act like jerk-offs.
They go on strike,
Oh, okay.
and
all right, I got you.
you.
When the mansions aren't big enough.
Right.
And,
Gotcha.
my personal favorite here is Wesley Ryan Gaskin, so I'm going to blow it for him right now.
All right.
Is Twilight. That's it. That's the whole.
Twilight.
Yes, that kills the franchise.
Just-
Just putting out a movie called Twilight.
I like it. It's wit. It's wit, my friend. Wesley, oh, if we were a real show, we'd give away prizes. Instead, I'll send you this one big
Yeah.
box of nothing.
No, we got to pay shipping.
No,
All
yeah,
right,
really,
so-
really.
okay, so
it's an imaginary box of nothing.
That's there you go. That's the way it's actually supposed to be. That's the line. All right, that was the hashtag game or the chat room game, whatever you like to call it. That's what we do. We let you play it. But now I think it's time for a thing some people have loved since the day it started. Others not so much. What are you
talking about?
I'm just saying. It's Ed's DC TV report.
To understand what I'm about to tell you, you need to do something first. You need to believe in the impossible. Can you do that?
Welcome to the DC TV report for the week ending in January 21st, 2017. I'm Edward O'Hare, nickname to be determined. I'm joined here by Bill Sweeney and Brother Bob.
Hey.
Hey, so we actually have shows to talk about this week.
Really?
Yes, on Monday, Fox
Yeah.
premiered their two shows. And starting off with Gotham, I'm going to jump right into it. Ready? Here we go.
Gotham. What do we got?
Okay, so Carmine put a hit out on Jim.
Oh, boy.
Lee barged into the precinct demanding Jim be arrested for Mario's murder.
Wait, I gotta get popcorn. for
Okay,
this.
yeah, please.
All right. She later visited Barnes, realized he was nuts, then begged Carmine to call off the hit.
Oh, of course.
Gordon and Bullock investigated an electrified body that came back to life and died again.
They do that.
They visited the morgue, met Creepy Dwight, and that's what I'm going to call him. It's always going to be Creepy Dwight.
Okay.
And followed him to a gathering of Jerome worshippers in the Paramount Theater.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
They stopped the party, but Zaz attacked. By the way, the story of the dead body, of the investigation,
Okay.
it stops right there.
All right, so we just kind of start it.
Yeah.
And then we'll come back to it some other day.
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay, fair enough.
So Zaz attacked.
Yeah, Zaz attacked.
Because that's the guy Carmine hit.
Who doesn't
kill
want a
Jim.
good Zaz attack?
Yeah, the chase led to Gordon's apartment, and Carmine showed up to call off the hit.
Okay, great. Success.
All right, so that's one storyline out of the way.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Now, for all you Penguin fans,
oh, Jesus.
Oswald was visited by Dad's ghost. Killed his new assistant in cold blood and screwed up an interview. It was all Ed's plan.
Of course.
See, he got Clayface to pose as the dead dad, and
Clayface is on. How did I not know Clayface was on?
Clayface was like end of last season.
I
He just showed up again.
I'm drinking too much, or not enough, or not at all.
Yeah,
Who
and
knows?
Tabitha and Babs were in on it too.
Babs.
Yeah,
Fucking Babs. All right, continue.
Babs is great, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
One day she'll be normal.
Yeah, I remember last episode we met Selena's mom.
Oh, okay. How's she doing?
So Selena and Mom caught up, made up, and got friendly with Bruce and Alfred.
Oh.
And a guy threatened Mama Kyle, and Selena offered him Bruce's money.
Well, that's not nice. That's Bruce's money. All right.
So, and last minute reveal, Jerome is on ice. So, yeah.
He's coming back.
He's gonna get frostbite.
Well, he's on ice.
Well, he's on ice. He's going to thaw out. You know, someone's going to, like, the building's going to lose power or something.
Yeah.
And then he's going to stink.
And he's being held by Creepy Dwight and the Jerome worshippers.
I've already seen pictures of him, too. They're doing, like, a whole thing. He's coming back. All right, so they're setting all that up.
Yeah.
And then, is there another show in the DC TV report?
Can't forget Lucifer.
Oh, yes, we could.
lot
But
of
go
people-
on anyway. All right, what do we got?
All right, so
Speed it up.
Lucifer and Chloe were about to kiss when a flight attendant showed up for a booty call and scared Chloe away.
Oh, no.
Meanwhile-
The flight attendant was later murdered.
Of course.
Meanwhile,
So was another guy Lucy slept with.
meanwhile,
Chloe decided to interview all of Lucy's recent sex partners.
meanwhile,
Dozens of women and a few guys. Later, Chloe realized she wasn't just another girl, and Lucy felt kind of used.
meanwhile,
They found a secret superfan of Lucifer's named Suki, who had a stalker wall and commemorative dolls of Lucy's wild nights.
That's not good.
meanwhile,
Well, she led them to a guy who led them to another guy who
Right.
killed the victims for a package they stole.
meanwhile,
The package had blood vials in it,
Right.
and was later stolen by some guy in a hat.
Yes, I can't believe it.
meanwhile,
Meanwhile,
Now Charlotte, that's Lucifer's mom,
Yeah.
apologized for bashing Chloe and continued plotting with Amenadiel.
well, that's fucked up.
meanwhile,
Maze was really happy and accidentally revealed to Chloe that Dan had slept with Charlotte.
Ugh,
meanwhile,
I hate when that
And
happens.
Lucifer and Chloe had a heart-to-heart on the beach and made up.
meanwhile,
Last-minute reveal,
Yeah.
meanwhile.
they kissed!
There's no more meanwhile.
Which
Yeah.
by,
That's
which,
I think that's
which-
the end there.
which by the law of moonlighting means the show's going to start sucking.
If anything, you would be
Oh,
like,
yeah. Probably gonna start acting like moonlighting.
there you go. There you go.
Which I don't say. I hope that doesn't happen. But
Well, we
that's-
could always hope.
That's always risky. Have it on moonlighting. Have it on House.
Oh, it happens
You know,
everywhere.
The minute they get, you want them to get together, but you really don't.
No, sometimes it's about the chase. If you don't do it in season one, it feels awkward forever.
Yeah. It's the jump the shark thing.
Oh yeah.
It becomes a jump the shark obstacle.
All right. So
And that's
What?
That's
Yeah.
the DC TV report
All
for this
right.
week.
No more meanwhiles.
we're gonna go out like this. Can't even hear the other clip. All right, Ed, thanks for that.
We should end the show with that music.
It's too big. It's too big. It gives a very false impression. It gives a very... There you go. That's it. Well, it's got you to do it.
Get a kettle drum. Bum, 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 bum,
Oh, my God. Don't.
There we go.
No, that's the last thing we need is a fucking kettle drum in here. I'll never sleep. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, last week we brought back Pitch vs. Pitch. Ed gave out the first title,
Yes, which was?
which was What Can I Help You Find?
What can I help you find?
What can I help you find? All right. So, to kick this off, we use a sound clip.
Insane? I'm the director. I make the casting decisions around here.
He does.
I thought this was a group effort.
No.
Just no.
No.
It's not a group effort. I can't even. I'm done. I'm going home. So Ed, I don't know who starts. Since it's your movie, I think maybe you pick who will start, rather than us fight over it.
Let's go Bill this time.
I tried to not make eye contact, and you picked me anyway.
I think I wasn't making eye contact.
So my pitch for What Can I Help You Find stars a very not grumpy, but he's old now. It stars Al Pacino.
Ooh.
Al Pacino, and he's old now, so he's going back to work. But he's working at like a CVS, and he's a shelf stocker kind of guy, like a local pharmacy store kind of thing. And it's just something to do to keep him out of the house. He lives
Why
alone.
are we always running out of dimmer tap?
See, exactly. I feel like you know this movie already. And so what it is that, like, it's the oddest thing. He slowly starts to find that he's just really good at finding things for people. Hey, what can I help you find? And, like, he'll track down anything in the place. And it becomes a thing where it's almost like a joke. It's almost like he can find anything. But this is like, he hasn't been there long enough to be this familiar with the inventory. So it turns out that this guy has like this kind of preternatural like ability, this natural thing he never discovered, that where he can just kind of hone in on what it is you're trying to find. So it's kind of like a quirky comedy kind of a thing a little bit until it all gets hijinky when all of a sudden he starts to get kind of known for it a little bit. And it becomes like a running gag a little bit. And then all of a sudden the mob pulls him in because they need to fucking find this thing, right? But then when they find a thing, it goes one next level. It turns out this movie is really going to be Al Pacino's big sci-fi fucking epic.
Oh, yeah?
He's never had one.
No, he
Like,
hasn't.
we've never had hoo-ah in space yet. You know what I mean? So he's kind of like very fish out of water, Al Pacino.
Some people would
You know?
say that the devil is science fiction. So
Well, I'll sidetrack you later.
Oh!
All right. And I'll let you know when it's funny. So, like, that's his thing. He gets caught up in this whole intergalactic... Turns out the mobsters weren't really mobsters. They were aliens, and they needed him. They were testing out whether or not he really had this ability, and so they bring him up to the mothership, and he gets caught up in this whole intergalactic war, and it's a search kind of thing for this one ancient relic. It's a little bit of the Fifth Element right there, maybe kind of a thing. Like, it's just one secret thing. But Al's going to find it. Like, you know what I mean? Somewhere out there, he's going to find it. And so that's basically my pitch for tone overall. I'd say director, you need somebody kind of... Luc Besson's a little too serious.
Luc Besson?
Luc Besson. But he would have a great visual palette there. But I feel like you need somebody like... it's pigeonholing, but... Guardians of the Galaxy, James Gunn, like James Gunn, or someone of that ilk, maybe even Tim Miller, like we were talking about earlier. But that's my pitch for What Can I Help You Find?
All right. Bob?
All right, so we got a wealthy woman, about 30, walking into a fancy department store.
Sure.
Let's call it Gimbaldale's.
I like it.
All right.
I like it.
All right. Kate Hudson, right? She walks in. She goes to the shoe department. She's looking at the shoes, and she hears the words, "Is there something I can help you find?" Very masculine, very sexy. She turns around, instantly falls in love with the guy.
Sure.
Buys shoes. They have a conversation. There's chemistry, everything. She leaves. comes back a week later because she's thinking about this guy all the time. She wants to meet him again. He's gone.
Right, sure.
He's gone. He doesn't work there anymore. So she's got to go find him. He works at another Gimbal Dale somewhere.
Right.
She's got to go find him.
Okay.
All right. She finds him. They admit they're in love, fall in love, get married. Suddenly she wakes up. She sees she's in a miserable room. She's got an empty bottle of antidepressants over there in the corner. Looks out the window, sees the disparity of her life, blows her brains out. The end.
So we have a choice between
Bob's going short and sweet this
Bill's
week.
idea of an old man.
You know why I'm going short and sweet.
Not really, but
Okay, so
All right.
if there's something more
we're
there,
thinking
I'm
Colin
most-
Hanks for the male role.
Sure. Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
So you know,
and who's directing?
Who would you like
Huh?
to direct? Maybe.
I hadn't really considered the director,
Okay.
but now that you mention it, I'm thinking. I can't think of his name. I'm picturing somebody
From
We would-
what else did he direct? Or something, some other project maybe.
Oh, Burton.
Tim Burton.
Tim
Sure.
Burton.
There you go.
Okay.
All right.
So
Yeah.
well, that actually okay.
Now,
right.
now it fits maybe a little better.
So we have Bill's idea
Yeah.
of an old man who discovers he has a knack for finding things
But it's an Al Pacino project.
that leads him to the center of an intergalactic war. And
Find like an intergalactic banjo.
Bob's idea of a woman who falls in love with a department store employee, marries him, and then kills herself.
Like in
Well,
the first
she
20
wakes.
minutes.
She wakes
first,
up. It's all a dream.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all a dream.
It's all a dream.
Okay, because I
She
wasn't
wakes
sure
up
if
and
it
she
was a
realizes where she is and
reality
the
of
reality
her
of her real life.
Okay, I thought it might have been like a
And then she
fast forward type thing.
She puts a gun right to the bottom of her head. You see the bullet
All
off the
right.
back.
Well, not.
Well, this
I like
is
it a little more now.
This is a decision
Oh,
that I have to make now.
yes, as theoretically a studio head or a guy who would make a choice between making one of these two projects.
I just want to point out, Ed, that his movie is going to be very expensive. It's a space epic.
He's got me there,
Mine's a $20 million movie,
See,
$30 million movie.
but
tops.
only 20 or 30 minutes.
No, because it's all about the story of them being together and their love of,
Oh, that's true. That's true. That's true.
You got,
Picture
all
the
that, you
Notebook.
got all that in between. Right. You got
It's
all
like
that
the
in
Notebook
between.
until like the
You
last
know?
5.
You got the guys aboard in the theater with
The
their
M. Night-
girlfriend.
The M. Night Shyamalan twist to the Notebook
Right. That's what
for
I'm
Bob
saying.
is just, oh shit, fuck, bow, done.
You know, the women are all into the movie until the last 2 minutes.
Wow.
And then the guys are like, fuck yeah.
That shit ain't real.
Right?
well,
Huh? What
I've
will you?
come to my decision. You ever notice how Al Pacino, like the impression of him, it always sounds like he's taking a dump. That just like
That's just Bill's impression.
Well, it depends on like you know.
no.
Sometimes he's impressed.
Yeah.
Sometimes he's impressed.
What are we doing here?
Hooah! That's a good one.
Yeah. So
Counselor, counselor,
I think the movie that
you're out of order. This whole damn podcast is out of order.
Now it is.
Jeffrey Tambor is good in that movie.
In my version of What Can I Do For You? What Can I Find For You? Deep Space Adventure.
So, yeah. What can I?
This whole galaxy is out of order. Flip-flopping aliens with tentacles for eyes and shit. I'm not even trying. just so you know.
No, you sound like you're from Texas.
He is. That's the character.
Yeah,
He's from
yeah.
Texas. Al's playing a guy works in CBS from Texas.
So after deliberating,
Yeah.
with myself,
It's a lot. It's a lot to consider.
yes, I think
I'll give him the countdown clock.
I think I made a decision,
Yeah.
and the winner this week is Bill.
Oh, wow. Look at that. I managed to win one. It's rare. It happens. Well, thank you, sir.
Yes.
I'll have a treatment sent out to you by the end of next week.
Yes.
3 or 4 page quick draft, some outlines, some notes, and then we can start storyboarding, some loose, rough ideas, some visualizations. Maybe get a little previs going.
Well,
You know?
bit of background on this title.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Ed's always got a backstory.
Yes. So the reason I chose this title,
Right. Is this the last thing said to you before you died?
No.
And you're like, an ambulance.
If he doesn't say it soon, it might be the last thing he says before he dies.
He loves the build-up.
Oh, yeah, really? Come on, Ed.
Yeah, in college, I worked retail
Okay.
at a big box office supply
Wow,
store.
I can't imagine where this is going.
Yeah. And this was the phrase that
No
they
way.
told us to approach customers with. And it had to be that exact wording.
Right.
What can I help you find?
Not gonna. What can I help you with?
No.
Not what can I find?
help you?
Right.
What can I help you find? Because it immediately assumes that they need my help.
Right.
To
right,
buy
right.
something.
Right. It all puts all of the options in their little basket of a mind.
The problem is whoever came up with that idea never
Actually worked a place?
Well, no, never worked in New York.
I got it. I'm good. I'm all right.
Where the common response was
You can help me find a place to shove your freaking ass because you got to leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
I'm going to punch you.
Well, what was the actual...
Well, it was usually...
I think I know.
What can I help you find? Nothing. And then they just walk out.
Oh, just this jerk off, like a bag full of money,
Yeah.
like that kind of thing, like
$100,000.
$1 million bucks, the winning lottery numbers.
How about a new girlfriend?
That's the new one. A new wife. Oh, where's the bell?
A 5'7" blonde.
You know what I mean?
Giant rack, no brain.
She don't speak English though. That's the key.
She don't speak. How's that?
Loves doing dishes though. Something like that, you
Yeah.
know? Oh, I'm not allowed to wear just a tank top in here? What's the matter? It's the summertime. I can't just come in here sweating and stinking into this
All right,
fine
all
stuff. Oh, sorry. Too close to home. All right, so...
Yeah, exactly. That's
So to finish up pitch versus pitch, Bob will give us the title for next week's assignment for me and Ed to go off and make a pitch with, and also for you at home if you want to play pitch versus pitch, send us an email podcast@Wicked Theory with pitch versus pitch, pitch vs pitch in the subject line and your little approach. We didn't get any this week, so let's maybe go play along if you like to do that kind of thing. Send it to the email. Bob, what is our assignment, our pitch versus pitch title?
Beautiful disaster.
Beautiful disaster.
Beautiful disaster.
Mm-hmm.
I was called that once.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Just beautiful disaster.
Oh, okay.
Not a beautiful
I wrote
disaster.
all this other stuff.
Beautiful disaster.
Very good, ladies and gentlemen. A beautiful disaster is the assignment for next week.
No, beautiful disaster, not a beautiful.
Ladies and gentlemen, the assignment for next week is beautiful disaster.
Beautiful disaster.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful disaster. Can I make a song?
Sure.
Okay. It's all about presentation, right?
Sure. Well, if you know what, if you want to save money on the project and you want to write the songs, that's up to you.
I was going to say, like, can I just
It
do
might
a whole
just help
thing? And
the
just have a
whole
video?
idea of beautiful disaster along.
I'm going to come in with a PowerPoint presentation. How about that?
Okay,
Ed?
that'll complement Ed's Excel sheets.
That's true. Oh, my God. That's true. That's true. All right. So, basically...
Guess we got to say, when it comes to Ed is Excelsior.
God damn it, Palmer! I'm fixing the doc, not you.
Well, it's good because I told him before I'm not going to be in it. So whatever happens in the document, I don't know about it now. It's between the two of you.
No, we were both editing the same sentence at the same time. Yeah.
For different reasons?
Well, no. I was changing up who chose what title, and he was putting.
You guys are making notes for next week and there already?
Yeah.
Let him do it. Let him do it.
All right.
I'm just saying. If you see him in there and he's moving, just let him move.
Okay.
And then when he's done, if you want to undo it, then undo it. See what he... Hey, how you doing? You warming up over there?
Yeah, I was just wondering when you guys would get back to the show.
Oh yeah. What's up next?
I don't know. Do we do anything else? Email?
Yeah.
Email. I mean, we could go to the chat room, but we did that kind of. We played the game. We asked any questions that they have. Open questions might be a thing for after show later on. Email. We get some email.
You want to read them?
In the echo chamber of emails.
Okay.
No, I don't want to read them because I forgot to open them. Oh, it's time to vamp. Everybody's favorite game, Ken Ed Vamp. Go.
Dun 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 dun. Hey Harris, how you doing? I went to see the founder today. That guy's a real son of a bitch.
Keep going. Keep going.
Oh man.
So how was it, Ed?
It was inspirational.
Really?
Yes.
It wants you to be a cocksucker. It makes you motivate you to be a prick.
Oh man. I mean, it could bring enormous success.
It's another one of these movies where the bad guy is the main guy.
Yeah.
A trend in American film and TV
but the
lately.
thing is, like, he's not wrong. You know,
Right.
the reason he's so successful is he didn't care about, you know, whether or not the other people in the group thought he was doing something right. You know, he just kind of like, at a certain point, I know if I do this, I will be successful, so I'm just going to stop giving a shit what do you think about it.
Right. I'm going to barrel ahead regardless of your opinion, kind of a thing. All right. Well,
Yeah.
in the end,
And,
as long
you
as
know-
nobody would.
And that's really a underlying line of success with everybody.
I think that's a business acumen. I think the thing is that's hard. I think for a lot of people to make that kind of step, though. Like,
Yeah.
regardless of what you guys are telling me,
Mm-hmm.
like I just know, and so fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Like I have to find a way to circumvent you now,
Mm-hmm.
which is basically
Right.
what happens in that, right? Because he finds a way to kind of.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil.
No,
it,
no,
but
not
yeah.
to spoil the
I mean,
the legend of
you know,
McDonald's.
You just,
but
you just look up Wikipedia or anything.
Bill, you ruined it for me. It's the story of McDonald's.
yeah, it's good.
Spoiler alert.
It's all. It's an hour and a half about how the Happy Meal was invented.
No, but
Yeah.
you've got Michael Keaton, you got Laura Dern, B.J. Novak, John Carroll Lynch,
Sure.
Nick Offerman,
All right,
all really solid.
that's good. Ed. The main question is, what are you going to give it on a scale of American tacos, 1 to 5?
Oh, this is gonna be 4 for me.
4.
Yeah.
4 American tacos, ladies and
Very
gentlemen.
solid movie.
That's more than a recommendation.
Yes.
He's telling you to go see it. It's not just, hey, go check it out. He's like, no, go fucking see it. All right? So, kids, I got it open. It's called emails. Email.
Congratulations, Phil.
Ooh, I figured out we're doing a show.
Oh, okay,
I
so who
didn't
said the
realize.
first one?
So the first one in here is from Chad Rose, Chad Envy, for all those.
Chad. Whoa.
He wants to know, why is milk so good after something sugary like cake or a cinnamon roll?
Because it's another form of sugar.
There you go. It's all lactose.
Lactose is sugar.
It's a toast. The toast just loves other toasts.
Right. If
They
it
all
ends
get
with
along?
os, it's a sugar.
Yeah. But I will say that it's cinnamon based, like cinnamon, or like I don't think it's like anything sugary. I think there's a limit. Like for me anyway, it's like chocolate based stuff or chocolate, depending on where you're from. A chocolate.
Thanks, Grandma.
Anytime. Or
No, I meant that as like for our grandmother because she's the one who made us say chocolate instead of chocolate.
Right. And even sometimes chocolate, because we're from New York, sounds like chocolate. Like it comes out like
Right.
there's
And
a W
then we
in
say
it.
it correctly, and people are like, "You're not saying it right."
I think it's just one of those things. I think it's like GIF or GIF.
Right.
So, but I do think it's like either chocolate stuff or like a cinnamon roll type thing. But other than that, like I couldn't just eat it. I mean, have milk with like just anything because it's sweet in general.
Right. Well,
you
it
know?
works well with other sweets because it's a sugar. It's
Oh,
a
yeah.
milder sugar. It's not like regular household sugar.
No. Yeah, it's a
But-
different beast.
And
But,
it's something we grow up with. So it's always just going to
Conditioning.
right. It's the conditioning.
The fucking conditioning.
Right.
Damn it.
I never use conditioner. Shampoo's good enough for
You've
me.
been conditioned.
It shows, Ed. It shows.
All right, Head and Shoulders. That's our sponsor. So here's a good time to put out a request. So I got lightning round questions in here from Wesley Gaskins. You know him, you love him, you cannot live without him. And he was nice enough and cool enough to do that, but I only got 10.
Okay.
And so that's only for one person. So we're going to skip it this week, and we're going to put out a hard request. People, we need 2 more sets of 10. There was at least 3 people here on this show. So Wesley was cool enough to send in his 10. Will you be cool enough to send in your 10 to podcast at Wicked Theory? Put lightning round in the
In the subject.
subject line. 10 questions. Keep them stupid. Keep them, mix them up. If you know the bit, if you don't know the bit, go through our back catalog.
archive and listen.
Look for a lightning round. You'll have fun.
At this point, we have so many listeners. We shouldn't be accepting new listeners unless they listen to the entire catalog first.
Oh my God! Then,
Whoa, man.
I don't know. I'm not putting that on the
Well,
table.
you know what? Just the first 11, because if they make it to number 11, then we know they mean business. Because
Well-
the first 10 are rough.
Well, Clint, who was in the chat room last week, and who has his
Yeah.
own show and stuff, and he was like, "No, I had a great time, had a blast." He was talking to me all week on Facebook, and he was like, "I'm going to go back and listen to some episodes. How far should I go back?" I was like,
Right.
64. Ask Mum Ra. That's it. Like, I think that's the new. It's like the new. It's like because we were talking about the current thing we're doing right now, where it's live and we
Right.
take stuff from the chat room. I'm like, if you're looking for like the best of that starts to gel at around 64, 65. So that's that. So again, Wesley, thank you very much for the questions, but I am going to skip these. I'm going to save these for when the time is right.
Yes.
And release them upon the world.
Here we go.
You like that? Are you scared? All right. So the next one is from James in Louisiana. And it is got the subject line of Day 1. Good morning, America. Well, it's morning somewhere. Keep your fingers crossed. We see tomorrow's. Well, I've been on the pond all day with my wife fishing. Not a lot of catching today, but that's a lot of fishing. So I haven't seen any mushroom clouds yet. So unless something happens in between now and tomorrow when this is read, I guess we survived. I know, no politics. Bury the number one story on the planet. Okay, and that's where I'll pause and say, dude, it's the number one story on the planet. You don't need to hear me go on about it.
Yeah.
All right. So.
Number
Okay.
one story on the planet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, okay, the DC TV show review will get my mind off of it. Oh, wait, mid-season break. Well, actually, a couple shows.
It's starting to come. It's coming to an end now.
It's creeping. It's creeping
Yeah.
in.
Next week we're
Next
going to get most of the current, actually all the current shows, and
Yeah.
then the week after that we're getting a new show, Powerless.
Well, you're going to have to start
Okay.
writing shorter breakdowns.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to start putting we're going to have to figure out just a time on the whole bit.
We're going to get a shot clock.
We might just do
Put it
like
behind you so that we can see. You know?
the bit might just become you have to do it in the 3.5 minutes of the music that we provide. you.
Get an egg timer.
There you go.
There you go.
All right. So yeah, like I said, I've been on the pond.
I'll just become the Micro Machines guy.
That's it. Just speak as fast as you possibly can. So yeah, like I said, I've been on the pond fishing, so in my own little world. Now, Clara from Doctor Who was playing public television's Victoria. Just saw the commercial, got sidetracked. Sorry. So yeah, super fight anyone? Yeah, when we've got nothing, we go super fight, right? Sometimes, not initially anyway.
Sometimes there's not a lot of planning on this show.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
You know, we do a lot of other things peripherally with the show.
Yeah. The planning happens in the late in the week. He goes, I'm at a loss for content. I feel like Bill when he starts the show.
So it sounds like we're gonna have to go get his address, go to his house, and do Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back on him.
Something. Somebody
We'll
might
rough him up.
Somebody might do something. I could talk
Are you
about
Boo Boo Kitty 64 on AOL.com?
trying to get through this.
Let me tell you something, man.
Sorry.
If he asks someone to get their shine box in a minute, I swear to fucking God.
Yeah.
No shine box. No shine box reference. He goes, I could talk about the refs giving the Cowboys a giant FU in their game, but no sports. So that's 3 of the off-limit topics. I seem to have mentioned 2 already. I hope the last one remains unmentioned. He's like pushing my buttons this week.
Somebody is.
Yeah, so he's trying to anyway. So a question to help salvage this email and make it worth having read other than to help fill showtime. Would you believe someone about the one that got away? I had a largemouth bass on a line that could swallow my fist, but before I could get him in the boat, he rolled off the lure and slipped away. So he was nice, so now I really want to get him a second time. He'd be good eating. I know he's in the pond. I have until Monday before I have to work again.
This sounds like an old man in the sea kind of thing, just starting.
Yeah, Well, that's the whole thing with the fishing. You should have brought a GoPro. You know what I mean? I got a friend at work, my buddy at work, loves fishing. Like now he's watching videos on fishing. So at least with that, it's like it's not like a 3-hour video, and it's like every minute of my fishing journey, because that would be torturous. But it's just like, here's a big fish I caught. All right, great. Like there's short videos.
So it's not 3 hours of a guy just like casting out.
Yeah. Just talking about
with rubber pants on.
If you got to cast like this. But there are some good videos because it's just like that's a fucking fish. Like one video, this guy pulled this thing out. I thought it was a prehistoric animal. It didn't even make sense. And he's like, he rattled off what kind of fish it was. I'm like,
yeah, and some of
Doesn't
these,
even look real.
and a lot of those mutant fish are the ones that we eat.
yeah, well that's
know
why
what I mean?
he's like, that one's good. I'm like, who the fuck is eating that?
Yeah,
thing?
like if you were to go to and see these things like sit out on the ice, you'll be like, no, I'm not eating that.
So So I don't know. I don't know if I've ever believed anybody who ever had the certain stories. It's just about how you deliver it. It's just about who's saying it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes, "Oh yeah, you know what happens when you finish framing a house before the next slab is poured. You work yourself out of work. So my boring week, blah 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 blah. He filled his off week with fishing. So all right, now super fight or Scrabble. Well, that's how he ends it.
All right. Well, is that his way of saying super fight is boring?
I don't know. I really don't know. If you read it with a question, then I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah, because I know us playing Scrabble on air would be boring.
Yeah. Well,
so is that his hint? That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
I
think so.
I think we could find a way to make it exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, we'd have to revamp the game quite a bit.
Well, maybe next time we play Super Fight, every character should have his name on it, whatever it is.
We'll have to start doing stuff like that, I guess. All right, the case of so Agent Palmer's got an email in here. Now, I know last week that we said he wasn't allowed to send any more emails in.
Yeah.
This is the thing. I'm letting this slide because this is
Why?
a thing we talked about previously, me and him. He had wanted to do this thing with other podcasts and was going to include us in it, where it was just like he was going to send the same email to everybody, get everybody's different answers and opinions and stuff, and put an article together. And this way, each one of those,
Right.
podcasts has like a little.
It just sounds like a way for him to get an end around about not being on the show and doing the email.
Anyway, this was a thing from 3 months ago. So when we talked about not doing any more emails from him during the week, he was like, "Oh, I guess I'll never do that thing." I'm like, "All right, well, you got to do it this week because you never got around to it.
Mm-hmm.
Send it out, this week, and this will be the official last one." And,
Okay.
That'll
All right,
be that.
then.
So
We'll
basically,
slide.
it comes down to good old DB Cooper. Remember DB Cooper, the guy who jumped out of a plane?
And over Oregon somewhere and disappeared with $200,000.
That's correct. Out of a 727. So basically, he's going to send this out to a bunch of different shows and all. But who do we think would play him in the inevitable movie that they're going to make?
Oh,
DB
Well,
Cooper.
I'm sorry, you go ahead first.
Zach Galifianakis.
I like that.
Okay.
And what do you
I was going to say you and me, Bill, because we have the same last name as the guy they suspect to be DB Cooper.
Oh, yeah. Is that
They
there's a Sweeney on the list?
They believe it is the guy DB Cooper is actually somebody by the name of DB Sweeney.
Well, I mean, hey, that's pretty cool. And what's funny is that guy was actually stuck. I couldn't get past Cooper, Bradley Cooper, in my head.
Okay.
Until I actually had to go look up the picture because I'm like, I can't. I just have Cooper stuck in my head because it's Cooper.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? So
See,
I had to
think of hanging with Mr. Cooper when you say that.
So I was like, I gotta break it. So I actually looked him up, and he looks more like B.J. Novak, who you mentioned before from The Office, or somebody like that, shorter, dark hair. Actually, he looks more like to me would be a good resemblance is from the sketches is what's his name from S.H.I.E.L.D., the guy who plays Phil Coulson.
Okay.
Oh, Clark Gregg?
Clark Gregg would probably, as far as a visual goes, But anyway, any suggestions, boys? D.B. Cooper, the man who made off with 20,000. We know very little about him. He's still a mystery, so I don't know how much of him you would actually see
he said Zach
in a movie.
Galifianakis. I'm going to say Zach's younger brother. He's unknown. Jack Galifianakis.
Jack Galifianakis. Jack Zachalakis.
Yeah.
So for lack of that, I guess that's it. All right, Palmer, thanks for the email. He sent along a link and stuff like that. In case
Fry from Futurama.
All right. If you're going animated, Bob's got a suggestion. All right. And so the last email here is from Stephanie Muniz. From the Gotham Lights podcast. She says, "Hey, you guys. Given the recent change in office..." Skimming ahead. All right. Given the recent change in office, I thought I would ask a presidential-related question this week. We all learned about the president's elementary school, maybe even had to memorize all of them up to the current one at the time.
I didn't have to, but I did.
But you did. Yeah, I'm not surprised.
You're that kind of guy, Ed.
Yeah, you knew that before you could read. Through learning about them, I was able to pick my favorite ones, George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. If you had to choose a favorite president, who would you pick? Take care, guys.
Which one died in the bathtub?
That would be William Howard Taft.
Drowned in his own quarter inch of water.
Yeah, he was also the fattest president we had. They had to pry him out of the bathtub.
Yeah,
no, I'm kidding. Well, it wouldn't be anyone in recent memory. So
Harry Truman's a fun character.
Yeah, he's got a good backstory.
Well, he's
I'd say Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt, yeah.
As a character?
Yeah, tough
We-
guy.
we-
He had an outlook on being American.
Yeah.
that needs to come back.
Well, Rough Riders and all that. I'm surprised that hasn't been a really good movie out for that. I'm sure there are a couple of movies
Yeah,
for
there were-
Roosevelt, but
there was a good mini series about 15 years ago.
okay. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm surprised. There's a lot there.
Did you know that because he refused to shoot a bear which was tied to a tree for him, so he could get it safely in the hunt as president, we have the teddy bear.
Yeah, I know it's tied to him. Yeah. I
Yeah.
know there's a whole backstory with the teddy and the bear, and that's all because of him. So
I mean,
Yeah.
there are some fun presidents.
I
out
wanted
there.
to say every president is awesome, just because
Because you're that kind of person.
I love them all. Because they're all good presidents, and how can you pick the best? I can't.
Wasn't one of them only in office for like 18 days?
That was William Henry Harrison.
Right.
He legend
Changed
was
his mind?
He did not wear a hat on Election Day. Gave the longest inauguration speech in history.
That's right. I remember.
and
that.
then got pneumonia and died a month
Yeah.
later.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. They
And
blamed it on not
before
wearing
he
a
could
hat.
open up a porn store.
Well, whatever that means.
The guys on the porn show, their last name is Harrison.
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
They're actually directly related to him.
Well, there you go. Finally, a reason for them to be famous.
His grandson Benjamin Harrison was also president later on.
Well, that's good for him.
For 19 days. And then
All
he
right.
also
All
dropped
right.
dead.
So your best favorite president then?
My favorite
The
president.
one you would go down on?
Jesus Christ.
Well, that's what we're talking about. The favorite, the best.
Well, just because you like the guy doesn't mean you.
Well, okay, most likely, if there's a chance that you would, one of the presidents, he would be the one, right?
I
mean, so when you
if
like
he
the best.
manscaped that day,
If it wasn't the 1800s before they bathed, once a
yeah,
week. With,
and you're okay with lice.
yeah,
I don't like this question anymore.
Well, all right. I might have rearranged the dynamic a little bit.
Favorite
Wrong
president.
show.
Pick
Wrong
one.
show. Favorite president?
I would say good old TJ.
Mao Zedong? Oh, okay.
Good old
All right.
TJ.
TJ Hooker. I didn't even know he ran.
Thomas Jefferson.
Thomas James. The actor.
Kirk.
Oh,
Yeah.
Kirk. All right. Thomas Jefferson. I'm not even going to. I'm only going to pick the one from what's that fucking movie with the Gatorade?
Abraham Lincoln.
Idiocracy. What's his name in Idiocracy? I
Oh,
can't-
Terry Crews.
Terry Crews. I can't remember the president's name in that. It's some silly name. Ed's gonna look it up for me. But that's who I'm picking. Because I don't do politics.
Because Bill tries to avoid the question.
Yep.
Oh, it was Camacho.
That's it. President Camacho. Best president I've ever seen.
See, like
Hands down.
movie presidents, that's a whole different.
No, I mean, if you had compared him to a real president.
Oh, yeah, then I would have picked Dave from the movie of the same name.
Dave.
Oh, there you go. How about a movie president? To you,
Movie
Ed?
president.
Fictional president.
Bill Pullman from Independence Day.
Fucking easy.
Harrison Ford
Not even
from,
trying.
what's the one with the plane?
Air Force One.
Air Force One. There you go.
Get off my plane.
Get out of my house. Oh, that was the David Blaine magic special, which was great. Get out of my house.
Magic special with no real magic.
Yeah, I mean, it's
When
all
he just
sleight of
kinda
hand.
when he kind of just puts himself in a mental coma for a while and they bury him.
Feats of endurance. That's what he claims. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to bring us to the end zone. That's not a sports reference. This is the zone where the show ends. How about
Oh,
that?
okay.
Sorry, didn't mean to wake anybody, but we are going to go wrapping it up. I see Binary Bombshell made it in the chat room.
Hey.
John Zombie John was in there. Wesley was been in there hanging it out and letting it dry in a cool breeze. That's nice, air dry. So thanks to you guys for hanging out so far. We're going to switch over to the after show kind of thing. But on the way out,
We got a little treat.
got a little thing. Bob's going to actually play his music and all that. But what we're going to do is we are also going to play a little bit of a nice little thing. Paula Allen from Tell Me Stories podcast. She did a promo for us, but this was a little side thing she left in there, so I put a little music behind it. She's talking about how much she just loves the show, blah, 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 blah. So this is the first time Bob and Ed have heard it. But so hang tight, sit through this little piece, and then we'll meet you on the other side. Bob. Well, plugs real quick. Ed on Twitter.
At Edward O'Hare TBD.
Bob on Twitter.
At Bob WTPC.
Sure, and at Wicked Theory. The show is wickedtheory.com, blah, blah, blah. And then Bob, take us out.
Okay, here's my pitch for why you need to listen live to Wicked Theory. So when they go live at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, if you can't figure out what time zone you're in, just Google it. Find out when it's happening in your world, because it's happening at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And sign into the chat, because you can send in questions and they will read them on the air. And it is next level hilarious. Bill is so quick on his feet with the comebacks. It's just phenomenal. Ed is just as quick and a little snarlier. Is that a word? I don't know. I'm going to make it one. And the combo is beautiful. It's just listening to them live is worth the price of admission, and the price of admission is free. So really, really incredible. For the people who support them on Patreon, and I'm one of them, I do it because I love the show. I think the humor that happens here is outstanding. I can't believe the stuff that they come up with and how funny they are. So I support the show on Patreon, so then I get all of the after show stuff. So after they stop recording live, there's all kinds of shit that happens afterwards, and it is as much fun as the show, and becomes more fun when you become a part of it. So either joining in the chat or supporting on Patreon helps you become a part of it, and it is bananas fun. Even I don't always know all of the geek culture that they're talking about. I don't read every comic book like these guys do. I read some, not all. And never have I felt like an outsider. Never have I felt like I couldn't join in on the conversation, because they are so damn excited to share this stuff with people and to be really, really excited about it on air. So send in your questions. Join them on Mixlr when they go live on Saturday nights. There's you can Netflix and chill any Saturday night. So pick some Saturday nights and get into the Wicked Theory. It's absolutely worth it. Not just because I love theory, and not just because I'm an armchair theorist, but because they truly do a great job, and they're so freaking fun. So wickedtheory.com. Can't wait to see you guys in the chat.